Carista, there's a question from someone. They want to know what makes this course different from other relationship and couples workshops. Can you answer that question?
Sure. Well, I don't know what's out there. I mean, there's so many wonderful things out there. I just know that my experience, having gone through the deepest and darkest nuances and patterns of love that most couples experience, and having walked others through it, as well as how to make the transition to a healthy form of love, I have my own tools and tips that I've discovered really save couples a lot of time and suffering and pain and vicious cycles. And my particular focus is on using the stories, the drama, to really get behind the patterns in a very simple way that are reflective of the conditioning we all learned about what love is and what it isn't. Because we know that love, I've discovered along with other associates, is mixed with judgment and shame and hundreds of other nuances, betrayal, self-betrayal, withholding of love, and condemnation, admonitions, and all of this mixture of love that we saw our parents do to us and we did to each other is simply a confusion about what love really is. And that's really what the focus is. And how we use our relationship to power, which shows up as control dynamics in couples, is the other distinction that's very important. So that one's relationship to their own loving nature, their relationship to their power, and the third focus, which makes this particular training very distinct, is one's relationship to truth. Because without love, truth, and one's relationship to power really having a mature sense of expression, usually most relationships don't develop into a sacred sense of intimacy.
Another question is, what is it that most couples seem to face in relationship that's the most challenging as a whole in this culture?
Most couples are afraid to love because in their childhood they had the direct experience that having an open heart and being truthful in their needs and feelings was not going to give them a connection to their parents. Why? Because their parents are simply a result of their patterns and conditioning and weren't given the value and the freedom to express their needs and feelings. And most people are confused. Those very simple, primitive, emotional teachings that parents are supposed to role model how they treat each other if our parents stay together, or how they treat us, are usually mixed with all kinds of toxic patterns of control and domination and suppression. And so, most couples are really confused how to be their own loving nature, and it's really who we are born to be at the essential level, but we were never given the chance to develop. So it's a recovery, a repair of that which has never been developed. And it's never too late, and it's never too early.
And through this confusion that you're talking about, and also this fear of love, how is that acted out or played out in relationships with many couples here?
Gosh. You got an hour or two? I'm going to try to keep it simple. I mean, the unconscious we usually draw to as someone in our, in our most intimate relationship that mirrors places where we did not get the loving respect and validation, understanding from one or both parents. That's not usually the original connection, which is often kind of veiled in the sexual attraction, the passion, the idealism. When that all starts to fall away and we're really stuck with each other's unprocessed shadow, suppressed confusions around how to love and express love, what happens is that the child who wanted that unconditional love from mom or dad or both is just desiring its whole life, the inner child, the young emotional body, to just be unconditionally loved, to be cherished, to be adored, to be appreciated. I mean, those are simple developmental needs every child deserves and rarely gets. And so the unconscious, just craving for that unconditional love. We love to be just held, don't we, and seen and felt for who we are. And our parents really did. And our beloveds, our lovers, really know how. And so the inner child often just feels this kind of entitlement that it expects the primary love person, usually the lover, it demands, you love me in the way that I need and want and was never respected from my childhood. And little does the partner know that that's actually what is being asked of them, to heal some of the wounds that never understood, and we get confused because suddenly two children are really running emotionally the relationship, rather than two adult bodies who really know how to experience and express love, what I call sacred love, which is bringing out the true nature, the virtuous nature, the ability to love freely, to speak one's truth, to be in integrity, to celebrate one's own presence freely. That's the best of love. That's what partnership is designed to do. And often we see that when we're pointing the finger at our partner, you're too this, you're too that, you're too judgmental, you don't hold me, you don't see me for who I am, you don't cherish me for who I am. 9.9 times out of 10, that could be true, but it certainly is true that that's how one is actually usually treating themselves. You feel the partner's abandoning you, where are you abandoning yourself? You feel the partner's not being their truth, where are you not being your inner truth and expressing it? You feel your partner's not cherishing you, where are you not cherishing yourself? You feel unloved by your partner, focus first on where you're not loving yourself, which could be being in the relationship in the first place, or depending on your partner, to value yourself or understand yourself. I've been there and I know the way through. I've really lived a lot of the nuances of what I'm saying and walked many through it, and I have these wonderful hot tips to save you from a lot of suffering and pain, hopefully, and really learn what love is for you and what your particular love language is, which is different than mine, which is different than your partner's, and is often the reason why we have disharmony between us. We have to know our own love language, that which opens our heart, our loving nature, and be able to communicate it lovingly to our partner. Very few people know how to do that. It wasn't role model to us or valued.
Of the couples that have seen you in the past, what are the percentages that you can actually help to the degree that they definitely want to stay together and that they actually have a healthy relationship from one that was quite toxic and unhealthy?
I have seen it all and lived it all, as I said. I've seen couples with the deepest betrayals, emotional betrayals, sexual betrayals, and financial betrayals, who are in their glory and in really a sustainable, loving, deep, rich renewal of the healthiest of what I call sacred love and relationship. And what allows that to happen is the willingness for both partners to want to own their patterns that created the havoc and the betrayal or the estrangement, and want to repair those patterns, which means you have to want to see what you've done and know the origins of it, not to shame yourself or shame the other or blame, but so you can know what you need to change. And then the repair is what's the healthier, transformed behavior that's an expression of healthy love that will build the trust again with the self as a loving being, as well as build the trust with the other. And I've seen those that have all the wisdom about what compassion is. They've read it, they're on a spiritual path, and they have it in their heads as a concept. They read about it in books, they do the trainings, but they're not embodying the direct living experience of the expression of love and the art of knowing how to express truth. So you can have the concept, and that's part of it, the awareness, the awakening of what healthy love is, what relationship is. The real key that allows for relationship to transform into anything, either the decision that you've outgrown it and nothing's wrong, you don't have to make anyone wrong, or you want to go to the next level, is the willingness to embody a new expression of love, a clear expression of truth, and really be in your integrity to be transparent what that is in a way that is respectful of the other's truth. And you can't demand that someone change and repair, you can only invite them to. And if they want to, magic can happen. And if they don't want to and you want to, it's often, the reason to stop and look at whether the relationship can be changed, or you need some breakthrough to someone's defense system they don't want to own and change, or they really are done. Or you're done because they don't want to grow with you. I've seen it all, and you never know the outcome until the couple decides to want to explore what the relationship is asking of them.
Thank you, Carista.
Anything is possible with love and truth.